Hey everyone, welcome back to another video. It's your boy Jaminator. In this Road to Perth Regionals series, it's now the night before I leave to go to Perth. And I've prepared as much as I could. You can see all these decks over here. These are ones that I've built. I've got all my spare sleeves, dual mat sleeves, spare cards. Just chuck in there if I decide to make any last minute changes. Jim's pretty prepared too. He's went and bought himself some dual mat sleeves as well for his deck. Those Dragon Shield dual mats shuffle really nicely in the event. Today I'd like to go through this video and do like a deck profile of what I was going to play. I don't know if I'm still going to play it at Perth, but I'm going to show the profile of it anyway because I did invent this deck and it's really interesting. Very unique. It's got a really cool win condition. It's really fun to play as well. But yeah, I'm not sure if I'm actually going to play it on the day because I have found another archetype that seems to be a bit more consistent, but I might end up adding the 3 unique cards that I've spiced up into the deck that I'm showing you now. I might add that into this other deck for the regionals on Saturday. So super keen to get into the competition, catch up with friends and go to Perth. I've never been to Perth before, so this will be a nice experience. I'm bringing a lot of trade stuff too. So I got this tin full of like, you know, full arts and shinies and hollows, play promos, people like those, and just take some top loaders in case you pull something cool. Anyway, let's get down into it. So we've got a deck list. I think it's gonna be, it's in this box. Yeah, all right. Let's go down, move the camera. This is the deck that I've been practicing, the exact 60. I got to Arceus rank with this on TCG Live. So we're gonna go through there. I'll pull out all the Pokemon first. And once I pull the Pokemon out, you're gonna realize exactly what's unique about this list. So it's an ancient box deck and I've put a 1/1 slowbro line into it. All right, so we got our Pokemon here. And then the slowbro is this one with Twilight Inspiration from Pokemon Go. When you have 1 prize card left, you take 2 prizes. Because the entire deck is all single prize Pokemon, if you're ever behind in prize cards, you can easily take 2 prizes at the very end of the game with this if you're just shy of missing a knockout on like a 2 prize Pokemon, or if you're against a deck that does not play double prize Pokemon. So it makes it really cool to do catch-ups. All right, so the deck list start, we've got 3 Koraidons. You can use these as sacrifice or as an early game attacker. Got this EB game stamp one here. And we got 4 Roaring Moons. There we go. This is your main attacker of the deck. This Vengeance Fletching does 10 extra damage for every ancient card on your discard pile. So as you power through your deck, you will be throwing ancient cards in your discard pile and it does more damage. Now we also have a Great Tusk. This can mill your opponent. If you start it, it's actually not bad to start with it because you often versing Charizard or something, you don't want to be taking the first knockout anyway. So you can just use this and mill them. It's great if your opponent has 4 cards left in their deck and you can't win on prizes, but you get a Great Tusk out and you mill them and win. Now last ancient Pokemon is 1 Roaring Moon EX. We have ways to get this into play all in 1 turn. So that's, it doesn't have to be a liability sitting on the bench all the time. Support Pokemon, we have our only draw supporter in the game is Radiant Greninja. And then of course we've got our Slowpoke and Slowbro. It really doesn't matter which Slowpoke you pick because they all have 2 retreat, but I just like this one because it's shiny. So I can bling the deck out and then when I bench it, I can be like, oh, what? Did you put that? How did that get there? Did someone, who put that in my deck? What? I thought that'd be pretty funny. So that's the Pokemon. Now where we go for trainer cards. Supporters first. Let's get these supporters out. There should be 11. There we go. So first up we have our Sardas, which if anyone has played any sort of ancient deck from Paradox Rift, they'll know what Sarda does. You draw 3 cards and it also attaches energy to your ancient Pokemon. So this is the most important supporter in the deck. We want 4 of those. And we also have 4 copies of Explorer's Guidance. This is really good for powering through your deck. Get cards in the discard pile like the ancient cards. Really good early game when you're looking for Pokemon and stuff. And then we've got 1 copy of Iono. We are often very close to decking ourselves out. So if you're up against a deck like Mill Control, you'd learn an Iono yourself so you don't deck out. But you can also use this to get a better hand. So it's kind of like if you can't use Sarda or Explorers and you'd rather like fix your hand up or cripple the opponent, you can use Iono. 1 copy of Boss's Orders, 1 copy of Thornton. So we're going to use our Thornton to get the Slowpoke in play on something that already has 2 energies, and then we evolve it into the Slowbro, and that usually wins us the game. We can also Thornton anything with 2 energies into this, and then attach an energy and use Frenzied Gouging. And then we can also Thornton anything here into anything else, which is really cool. But just remember, it also keeps turns in play, which is that turns in play it keeps. So if it's a basic Pokemon you put in play last turn and then you transform it with Thornton, you can actually evolve it into that Slowbro. So keep that in mind. That's what makes this deck really work. You're going to need to keep Thornton around at the end of the game as your win condition. All right, now we're going for item cards. Should be 4 copies of Nest Ball, 2 copies of Ultra Ball, Nest Ball, Ultra Ball, and we have also got 2 Artisans. So we can use our 4 copies of Nest Ball, 2 copies of Ultra Ball, and the 2 Artisans to get out our Pokemon. I'm going to put them here for the time being. We have another stadium which I'll put up over there. Then also we have 4 copies of Earthen Vessel. So hopefully your Radiant Greninja is not prized. We'll be using energies to draw through the deck. So 4 copies of Earthen Vessel. You can also use these to discard your ancient Pokemon, which increase the damage of your little Roaring Moons. So that's really cool. We also finally have 4 copies of the Ancient Booster Capsule energies. So we're going to be using the Ancient Booster Capsules in a lot of matchups. Every matchup is different. Some matchups you'd want to attach an Ancient Booster Capsule energy. Some you might want to save until the end of the game. When you're versing Charizard, you want to use these early game. And then towards the late game, there's no point putting these on your Pokemon because they're all going to get 1 shot anyway. So 4 copies of these. They also add to your ancient count when they're in the discard pile for the Roaring Moon attack. Then we have 4 copies of Pokegear. We're going to be using these to get our supporters. We want to be playing a supporter almost every turn. Then we've got 1 copy of Pal Pad to put back our stuff. Because there is a Pokestop in the deck, the randomness of discarding possible that we'll discard supporters we need like Thornton. So this will get back a very important Thornton supporter. Then for gusting options and little delicacy cards, we've got Super Rod to get back our Pokemon and energies. We've got a Dark Patch, just 1 copy. We can use this if you hang on to it to the end of the game. 1 Sarda, 1 Dark Patch, and attach to that Roaring Moon EX gets it into play in 1 turn. We also have 1 copy of Pokestop, which can put up there. Our Ace Spec is the Awakening Drum. I'm drawing cards for each of our ancient cards in play. And then we have a Superior Energy Retrieval. You can also use this discard ancient cards with its discard effect. Then I've got Counter Catches, 2 of those, and a switch card, which I'll put here. And then for energies, we have 7 darkness energies. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 darkness energies, mainly using darkness to attack. And then 2 fighting energies, because Koraidon uses fighting to attack. So that's the deck profile. With if you're using this card, and it gives the option of discarding like, you know, a supporter or a power pad, super rod and stuff, you have to take your power pads and your super rod and discard all the rest of the crap, unfortunately, because you might end up using this again and discarding like your Thornton and something else. And power pad and super rod is the only way to get them back. And if you do not have Thornton to get the slowbro in play, if you're losing, there is no way to win at all without your Thornton. This can win you games when you're behind in the prize trade. Whereas if you didn't have this card, you would just lose from being behind in the prize trade. So it's an interesting deck to play, very tricky to get your head around, but really fun. Now I was going to change the list a bit for Perth, and I'll show you what I'm going to test with. I've got some trekking shoes here, some extra dark energies, an extra artisan, penny, roaring moons, and the Dunsparce engine. So the Dunsparce shuffles itself back into your deck, and then you draw 3 cards. So you draw first and then it shuffles it back. So you can prevent yourself from ever decking out. It's a draw Pokemon, and it evolves from this, which is free retreat. So you've got a free retreater and a draw engine that's constantly in play. You can get it out with Artisan. It's a really great card. This deck is very consistent, but it has a lot of bad matchups, and I'm thinking that the slowbro might fix it. So I'm going to test that out later. It does need all the dark patches though, and it needs some extra roaring moons, and it probably needs to keep the penny as well, extra energy, and then some trekking shoes. So test this deck out. The next part of the video might end up being a game. I might just upload another video after this one. Anyway, that's our road to Perth Regionals. See you in the next episode, guys. Peace.